YouTube, what's up? What's up? We are back with another episode 19 to be exact. We're slowly but surely churning our way through this. We're jumping straight in to the first show of the episode, coming off the back of another title defence for Papa SWOLL against Jebediah, where we also had the architect sort of ominously absent from the show. So we'll see how things go forward. We, of course, as always, will go generic. It doesn't seem like we're going to get a big boost on fans. Booking ideas, we angle creative, mutant angle. Let's go creative. A bit of a gamble. Sure, we'll keep it. And we'll go character idea. Likely to succeed for Logan Willspain only. Okay, let's do another one because I want a near certainty with no restrictions. Perfect. Let's do one more creative finish too. A near certainty with no restrictions. Okay, good finish there. Okay, backstage. Ace Youngblood and Remy been getting on well. Okay, that's good. Architect ran his training, and Blue Dragon brightened the backstage with simply being so cheerful. Oh, and the Architect is talking to Marco Gonzalez a lot recently. And he seems to be having some degree of influence. Okay, I mean, that's good though. That's a good thing. Nice. I'll take it. Address the locker room. Let's do some team bonding. We don't really have any morale issues, so as expected, everything is strengthened here, which is what we like to see. Moving into the show, which I will be back momentarily as I book Kickoff Carnage 38. Alright, here we go. It's time. We have a pretty beefy setup tonight. A lot of our heavy hitters are actually in action, which is not usually the case these days for the last couple of shows anyway. But tonight, I think there's only 3 or 4 not, and most of our major stars are on this card. We also got the debuting of our new tag team I was talking about that wasn't ready last time, as we slowly phase out the Aces of Mayhem, which won't take too long before they're completely gone. But let's fire straight into this show. I'm excited for this one. We should hopefully get some pretty nice ratings. It'll give us a nice indicator as to where we're at right now. In fact, before, spoiler alert, I just remembered, before I start, just close your eyes, no one look, if you don't want it to be ruined. I keep forgetting to do this, and I always remember at the last minute to do the creative finish. It's turning into a bit of a sort of religious pact that I always have creative finish on my main event. Every show. Right, let's do it. So here we go. 276 people, so fairly similar to last show. It's still going up though, which is good. And we have the man himself. He's back. The Blueprint are back tonight. This angle gets the crowd hotter. Show off to a strong start. A 57 rating, which I'm not going to lie. As much as I'm not wanting to put pressure on these guys when 57 is like amazing for our level. I wonder if I made a mistake with what I booked him as. I think it's just a basic promo. I'm a bit surprised he only got a 57 though, considering recently he got an 85, and I believe that was just cutting a promo. But anyway, yeah, he comes out. He says Blueprint, they're back. He doesn't really necessarily say much about Papa SWOLL, who, of course, him and Papa SWOLL have been going back and forth for months, pretty much the 2 years the company has been founded. They've been going at it. But he doesn't really mention anything like that, and he's also out at the ring himself. With only Sasquatch, of course, Sasquatch has got to be there, he's always there. But pretty good promo though to start the show. As he's getting himself over, which is pretty easy for Architect. He's very good on the mic, and the reason Sasquatch, it turns out, is with him is because he's in action to start off the show. Good bout, 41 rating. Sasquatch McGraw defeats Stevie Stanley in just under 7 minutes. It's a bit of a domination. Very one-sided. Sasquatch just very easily manhandles his way through Stevie. The match gets the crowd hotter. Pretty solid ratings, mid-40s. I'll take it. 41. As we move into a 50, it's the debuts themselves. LA Star 1 and 2. Now, these guys have actually been on my radar and on my shortlist for a while. And I'm not going to lie, on paper, in terms of replacing the Aces of Mayhem, these guys are the best tag team I can find. Not that I'm saying there's not a lot of options, but they're costing me $30 a show, but they both have like low 20 pop, which is pretty much the ceiling before the wages per show go up. So it's like the perfect time to bring them in. They're young, way younger than the Aces of Mayhem, already way better on paper. And I mean, here we go. Look at this. The stats speak for themselves. Max Mayhem very gracefully seemed off his game on which is actually his last appearance. He only had one show left on his contract, whereas I think Ace has maybe two more. So this is Max is the first person from our OG roster to leave the company, which is a bit of a shame. I would have kept him on, but I can't justify paying him more money than pretty much anyone else on the roster when he's not that guy, you know. But this is a solid 50 rating, and of course LA Stars win their debut defeating Aces of Mayhem. They get solid ratings, low 50s, which will really add to our tag team division, especially as faces. Obviously, we loosely enforce heels and faces, so it's not that big a deal if we have face versus face and so on and so forth. But these guys will be a solid addition. I think they're. We'll have a look at them. Can I have a look at them in this screen? No, we'll have a look after the show. I kind of forgot to show them before, but they're in their like mid to late 20s. They're not old at all. They're still young. They are very good, as you can see here on their debuts. We do get an adequate on LA Star 1, who I believe can actually talk on the mic. His performance, his entertainment skills aren't amazing, but they just get by enough that he could cut a promo and get a pretty decent rating. I'm pretty sure it's LA Star 1, sorry. They both debut the Hollywood Star gimmick. And of course they get the tag team specialist bonus. Wins and losses have a great impact on popularity. Okay, so there's not really major pros and cons of their gimmicks, which is good. I'll take it. A great and adequate. It could be much worse, let's put it that way. 50 rating, solid debut for our new tag team as we say goodbye to Max. Then we move into another Cobra win. Pretty solid match, 55 overall. And it's Cobra who comes out on top by submission after blatantly cheating. Which, of course, he's always up to some sort of scheme, especially with his snake hissing Sid. And he gets another win to probably help keep the catapult going. This is a rematch too, which Remy has unfortunately lost again. But very good rating. Then we move into We Want the Funk. It's back in action again. Very, very good rating of 66. We basically have the Doc coming down to the crowd, working the crowd up, and then he has an interview with none other than tonight's main eventer, Mutant, who's going up against Architect. And they basically just go back and forth, you know, what did you think about Architect? They're talking about all the news, all the goss that's going on, Papa SWOLL and Architect going back and forth. Does he think he deserves a title shot? You know, just a very generic, what you'd expect. And it obviously, of course, all goes smoothly. We also used Mutant's angle ID here, which was a success. He failed going off script, which is something I already know, but I purposely left it off because I didn't want to essentially hold back Dr. Funkenstein, because he does very well, as you can see here, when he has the freedom to improvise to his advantage, and it obviously worked. He pulled in a 77. The interview itself got a 51, so I can't complain. This is good, regardless of the negative note. But the reason afterwards is it was scheduled to have Hangman and Blue Dragon go up against the Doc and Zippy, but for some reason Blue Dragon just did not come out. But the match goes ahead, and maybe not so much as a surprise, but in a handicap match, Hangman still comes out on top. He beats the Doc and Zippy in 11 minutes 38. They push him, you could say, they push him to his limits as it's 2-on-1, but he gets the job done with a choke slam to Zippy to get the pin. And he massively carried this match to a 50 rating. But the Hangman, of course, he's strong. He's always been pretty strong. He's before Sasquatch came in, he was pretty much a bit of a monster. But after the match, we have the camera kind of follow Hangman. He's kind of like in a rush, in a way, to get backstage because he's like, you know, where the hell is Blue Dragon? He was here, like he's here tonight. Why has he not came out? And our little like shoddy camera runs off to follow him. Obviously, you can imagine we're in like a gym hall, so it's nothing special. And as he goes through the curtain, laying there on a stretcher is none other than Blue Dragon. And Papa Swole and all the medic team are like over Blue Dragon, wondering what's going on. And this is when Hangman comes out and asks what the hell's happened. And apparently Blue Dragon's been attacked, and no one knows who it was. All they know, it was a huge hooded man who was running away from the scene, essentially, when someone from the staff came over and saw Blue Dragon on the floor. Someone is huge, even bigger than Papa Swole and Hangman. And then Hangman and Papa Swole kind of look at each other because they both know the only person that's bigger than those two is Sasquatch. And obviously then in that irate state, Hangman starts going crazy. You know, his buddy Blue Dragon, he's been injured. And he starts basically demanding, calling out the GMs, which we don't have one, but we have Craig Prince, who's me. He's essentially there too, and he's shouting at Craig Prince saying he wants Sasquatch next week or next event. Like he can't get away with this. He can't get away with this, you know. And as this is all going on, Papa Swole kind of urges Hangman to get in the ambulance and go with Blue Dragon. And they're kind of shouting at each other too, like Hangman's kind of shouting at Papa Swole, you know, telling Papa Blue Dragon's had your back this whole time. He's the reason you won the belt. He was the nail in the coffin, so you better not overlook him and not help him. You know, we've got your back, so it's important you should have his too. But Blue Dragon looks out for the count. He is done. He's in a stretcher. He is not moving, unconscious. He's been done in, absolute dirty. This gets a 44. We done something very different here with the ratings and stuff and the way we usually do angles. So a 44 is pretty decent. You know what? I'll take it, considering. But so we'll see how that advances on the next show. Hangman, of course, it seems pretty much set in stone. He's going 1-on-1 with the giant Sasquatch, giant on giant action. They have fought each other, but not in singles competition, so we'll see how that goes. The unbeaten Sasquatch against the irate Hangman for what he's done to his buddy. But pretty solid match here again. We get another singles rating over 50. This time it's Sandman Winks, one part of the Blueprint, who was also probably guilty for part of that attack on Blue Dragon. And he wins by submission with a deep sleep. But during the match, we also had his tag team partner, Historian Distract Jacobs. Essentially, you know, they do what they need to do, cheating to get the win and get the job done. Pretty good rating here too. Sandman hits a 48, Josh with a 41. This is no complaints, giving more of a rub down, more of a boost for Sandman as well. Then we move into a big team up here, a bit of a surprising one too. We have Davis and Logan teaming up tonight. Obviously, when Logan first came into the company, these guys were going back and forth quite a bit, had a couple very good matches against each other, but they're teaming up tonight, and they pull through and get the job done by beating the Minnesota Awesome when Davis Wayne Newton pins Perry Longstaff with a fisherman suplex. Very, very good rating here, 62, very solid. Davis pulls in a 63.59 for Logan. Of course, the Minnesota Awesome are also very good. They get some pretty solid ratings. And the Boom Shakalaka storyline advances, but Lost Heat, this shouldn't really have advanced, but because Davis and Logan are both in it, that's fine. I mean, I actually think this has happened by accident, but now I think about it, I don't think the storyline would have advanced otherwise, and I would have got the penalty. So this is actually good. This is a good thing. This has happened by complete me being a noob, basically. But very good match. 62 rating, I'll take it. Good win for Davis too, especially for him to get the pin. Then we move into our main event. 68. Luckily as well, it's the best show of the night, and it's the Architect defeats Mutant in 13 minutes 49 with a roll up. And during the match, we also had Sandman Winks, who of course won earlier in the night. He distracts Mutant. Basically, him and Historian are at ringside just being nuisances. Oh, never mind, actually, this advances the storyline too. Very good rating though, 65 for Architect, 53 for Mutant. Who takes the loss here? Architect getting back into the 1v1 competitor, you know. Since he lost his belt, he has fought, but not a whole lot. So I'm just trying to do a good job of, you know, getting in the habit of just using everyone. Sometimes I almost forget our company's the size it is, and I vision it the way I vision WWE and how they run their shows. But, you know, in reality, we have less than 300 people, like our show's tiny, our people are unknown. So I need to just get that into my mindset when I'm booking the shows and not be so strict on the booking and just use everyone, get everyone the exposure they deserve. But this was a very good show. It actually structured out very well considering we used I tried to use everyone I possibly could. I think only 3 or 4 were missing. We hit a 64, which is that the best? I think the best rating is 66. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So this is huge. Pretty much just got better and better too. Nothing below 40. Most of it is averaging like mid 50s, 50s. So this is really good overall. Alright, address the locker room. We can give this to, you know who actually, we'll give it to the new guys because they, considering, even though they have a little bit of pop here, I don't think we've seen anyone debut with like those kind of in-ring performances, honestly, which is exciting. I'm glad we managed to pick them up before their price per show was much higher. We essentially got them as cheap as we possibly could. We do lose a bit of money, which is to be expected because, you know, we had everyone on the card. Logan, we had Papa SWOLL. It's to be expected. We're essentially using way more for the workers. Popularity, we of course go up as usual. So pretty solid start. We'll need to figure out next show what's happening with Blue Dragon, and it also looks like we got Hangman in action against Sasquatch, which we'll see how that pans out. See how it goes. But I will cut the recording here and I will be back for the next show. You know what? After the good start to the episode, you know, I was advancing through the days, humming along, la la la, having a little sing song, listening to my music, and then I got a deep, deep, dark feeling in my stomach, like it dropped to the ground and almost fell out my ass, and I wondered why. Then I clicked on our decisions and saw this. Oh, god damn it. Let's have a look. We are now in the green though, and right now roughly we make around 1600. Now let's just get this over with. Right, so Blue Dragon gets paid 60 and he wants double. Now that's not crazy. Is Blue Dragon someone I expected to come for a pay rise? No, but he is on a few promotions. He does tour as well. I think it's Japan he goes to. So we'll give you 45. He should be fine with that. Right, so he's going to get a bit more money. Logan already is the highest paid guy, along with pretty much, he's round about the same as Papa SWOLL. Okay, it's actually not that big of an increase. Okay, this is actually going way better than I thought. I was expecting it to be way worse. I believe Sasquatch gets 90 at the minute, and he wants 150. Okay, right, okay, let's go have a look really quick at what that means for us now in terms of who's getting paid the most, and if it actually reflects the work they put in for us, basically. Okay. Yeah, so Logan's back at the top. He's on 185. Then Papa, our champ, our main guy, most popular, he's on 150. Sasquatch 130. It's not horrible. Okay. I mean, this isn't. It's not bad. It's pretty decent. There's so many people on 50 and under, more than half. Um, right. Okay. That actually, I was expecting that to go way worse, to be honest. So that's actually a bit of a relief. That's why I decided to pause my beautiful music and go back to recording to go over that with you guys. Otherwise, I would have forgotten by the time the next show pops up. But we dodged a bullet a little bit there. It could have been way actually. It could have been way worse. I was expecting it to be way worse, to be honest. So, um, you know, the game just loves throwing the curveballs at me. To be honest. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Well, well, well. After getting the bad news, we get some good news. Our merchandise upgrade to level 4 is actually complete. So let's go take a little quick look here as we get closer and closer to Kickoff Carnage 39. I believe we now need to actually pay a monthly cost for merchandise. So we're growing business, level 4 of 10. At this level, your merchandise operation has some part-time staff and is being run as a legitimate money-making part of the company. You can start to monetize your old events by selling them on DVD and video on demand. But the company does not make worker-specific merchandise. Instead, workers are allowed to bring their own and sell it during intermission. So on an average, we make around $2.50 per fan in attendance and around $5 per popularity point per region each month from the mail order side of the business. But the running cost level of merchandise at this point is $750 per month. Now, that's quite a lot of money, but I'm hoping from the bump up with the more money we'll make, it's going to be enough to at least for the moment cover the 750 cost. We won't make a lot more money, not right now, but if we want to keep upgrading, at normal rate it's 250 a week, conservatives 120 a week, but only 1% of progress, or we do rapid for 600 per week. I think I'm going to keep this going, but for the minute we'll do conservative and we'll have a quick look. Obviously we'll need to keep an eye on it to see if there's a big bump in the merchandise now. But at the minute we only make roughly about 750. Last show, or last month, sorry, on March, we made 820, which is only pretty much $50 over the running costs for merchandise. So we'll need to see, maybe not this month because it's only half the month, where we'll have this new level of merchandise. So maybe we can have a much better look next month, but hopefully it gives us a nice boost. I also saw the US economy slowly back on the rise, so that'll help with things like sponsor. If we obviously keep going up pop every month, our ticket sales will rise real nice. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get our finances at a real healthy monthly amount to then go on Wrestle World. I just don't want to do it too soon and we screw it up because it's going to be not really risky because I've kind of crunched the numbers and know roughly how much it's going to cost each month, but something like that can quickly backfire for a little small company like us. So we just got to make sure we have the finances, even if we botch it and make loads of mistakes and do a lot of things wrong, as long as we don't end up going into debt by something crazy, because we'll need to make sure even our music is upgraded because we can potentially get fined and that can be up to like $30,000. So there's a lot of little things to take into consideration, but this is good news though. Merchandise is upgrading, which means more money for us, so it's all positives. Alright, we're back. Kick off Carnage 39. 39 shows deep. Oh my. What the hell? The expected attendance is all of a sudden. What? There's no way it's going to jump up that much. If that is the case, then that'll be a very nice boost. I won't complain, but we of course did hit 25, which means we technically can go on Wrestle World last last show. But wait, what? Unfortunately, the ring has been accidentally sent to the wrong place. This doesn't sound good. You managed to source a replacement at short notice, and the live event can still go ahead, but it's not great quality. So there'll be a small penalty to your overall show rating. Hold on, I'm sorry. How the fuck does a whole ring get sent to the wrong place? Obviously, I understand it's not like a big made ring in like a crate or whatever. It's all the pieces, all the equipment to put it together. But oh dear, this is actually, you know what? As much as this is bad news, I'm not even mad. I don't know why I'm finding it hilarious. It's the little things like that I think that just make the game something else. To be honest, right off camera, I've been putting in character ideas to keep people's momentum good, and so that people on normal morale don't get unhappy. But I'm not joking. I think the last 4 I've assigned, 3 of them have failed, and 1 was a near certainty. So I don't know if the game is trying to give me the middle finger and stick it right up my ass, because that's what it feels like. But we need to generate some more and fix this. Okay, no restrictions, safe bet. Let's get another one. Safe bet only for Davis. That's not good because he doesn't need it. Do we need creative finish? A bit of a gap? No. Nah, we don't. Right, okay. Let's get one more creative finish and then we don't have enough. A near certainty, no restrictions. Right, that'll do. I can't believe they just didn't bring a ring. If anything, the ring would still be shoddy anyway, because they're like broadcast quality, production quality, like all the production quality is the lowest. But I wonder how much of a penalty it'll give us. Poker tournament from Papa, that's good. Davis entertained the locker room, and also we had Architect getting the training in. Right, it's showtime. Showtime, ladies and gents. Let's get this party started. There's no title defence tonight, as it's been accustomed recently, with our second event of the month, but you'll soon figure out why. Now, before we start on what a big surprise this angle is, we need to take a minute here and almost embrace the fact that we are around 50 people higher in attendance from the last show. Now, our attendance, obviously, with the company growing, has been going up and up, but at most, the attendance jumps by 10, maybe 15. So the fact it's just jumped up about 50, I have no idea why. Is it maybe, does the game maybe take hitting popularity of 25 kind of like a milestone, even though you're not rising in size, maybe? Or maybe it's something to do with the merchandise going up. But nonetheless, we start the show very well. Zippy essentially is making his entrance. He is a master at comic relief, and even though he has no pop yet in the Great Lakes, I wanted to test this. You know, it's the best time to experiment, guys, is before your company. You need to start going try hard mode. And this paid off. Oh my god. This got a way higher rating than I was expecting, 61. Which we already know Zippy's stats on the sheets for his performance skills are very good. We just need to get him to catch up with his in-ring performances, but great start to the show. It doesn't actually say it's a good start to the show, probably because no one really knows him, but they found it very funny nonetheless, and he enjoyed the freedom to go off script. But his match is not great nonetheless. It's not bad. 33 gets the crowd hotter. Can't complain too much. This is Ace Youngblood. It's his last appearance with the promotion. He is now gone following this match, which he loses to Zippy with a spinning bulldog in 8 minutes. I thought if there's anyone to get the win, The only person who really needs it would be the person who's the lowest popularity within the whole promotion, which of course is Zippy. So good win for him. As we move into the Past Masters, and they pick up a win here when the Historian submits Aid Nelson, figure 4 leg lock, 47 rating. Both members of the Past Masters also get 47. This match also gets the crowd hotter. Pretty decent ratings though. Aid hits a 36, to be expected. Marco almost into the 40s. Pretty straightforward win to keep building good momentum on the Past Masters. Good tag match. As we move into Triple Threat 51, also this is a really good rating too, and it's a win for Miller. He pinned Stevie Stanley with the Ford flip face. Pardon me. Yes, good ratings. 48 for Miller, 48 for Jules. Stevie, who takes the pinfall, lacking behind on 40, but again, solid. 51 rating, I'll take it. As we move into the big one. Already confirmed from last show, Hangman demanded a fight against Sasquatch tonight, 1v1, and he got it. And this is essentially both guys are in the ring. They've made their entrances, you know, and they're just in this intense stare down with the crowd sort of screaming in the background. Our breakout attendance of 337 people. And they're just these two giants, 6'7", 6'11", and they're just staring each other down face to face. The veins are like almost popping out of Hangman's neck. He is pissed, of course, with Sasquatch. The match itself, we get a 59, which is huge. Now, I did do the rare occurrence of using a creative finish, even though it's not the main event, and it looks like it's paid off. It's paid off real nice. And in a superb match, Hangman defeats Sasquatch in 11:53 by pinfall with a chokeslam. During the match, we also had the Historian distract Hangman, but the man had tunnel vision. It wasn't enough, and Sasquatch gets handed his first loss in the company at the hands of fellow giant Hangman. He gets revenge for his pal Blue Dragon. But as expected, Sasquatch also, as a side note, Sasquatch is furious at having to take the loss here to Hangman, which I thought was quite funny. He's like extremely unhappy that I asked him to lose, to Hangman, which I don't get because he's not more popular here. Unless there's maybe more factors. I tried to look at his personality, but nothing really stands out as being like, I don't know, it didn't make sense. I found it kind of funny. He is happy though before this, so it shouldn't affect him too much going forward in terms of him becoming a pain backstage or whatever. But it was just a bit of a weird side note. But Hangman wins, gets revenge for his good buddy Blue Dragon, but it doesn't go down well with Sasquatch or the Blueprint, and it turns into a huge battle. Basically, every member of the Blueprint is in the ring, smashing up Hangman. You know, they're like sticking a chair in his head, jumping off the top rope, elbow drop, boom. You know, they're killing him. They're basically just doing what they did to Blue Dragon. And Architect gets on the mic and he starts screaming on Papa Swole to come out. Otherwise, what they did to Blue Dragon, they're going to do it to Hangman and basically, essentially finish him off, even though they pretty much already have. And then Papa Swole comes out, he runs out with a mic in hand and tells him to stop. He knows what he wants, you know. He said, you know what, fine. I've been purposely avoiding you, Architect, because all you do is yap, yap, yap. But I know you feel like you deserve the title shot with no stipulations in terms of other fighters getting in the way like Logan did. You want me, and you know what, I'll give it to you. Me on you, 1v1. And Architect kind of just smiles and he says, you know what, Papa, I think now that's a great idea. But he almost says it insinuating, you know, Papa's got no backup, so sure, I'll fight you. I'll fight you for the belt. And Papa basically says, you know, you better take it because it's the only chance you're going to get. So the architect nods and agrees. And finally, after the architect doing everything he could to be a thorn in the side of Papa SWOLL, he's beat up both his friends who essentially helped him get the belt. And now he's got it verbally agreed. The next title defence for Papa SWOLL will be against the architect 1v1 with a contract signing on the next show. Architect struggle going off script here, but the ring's pretty good. 59 overall. I'll take it. This isn't bad at all, to be honest. But yeah, the Hangman's basically, he's out of action now too. The second person to fall at the hands of Architect and the Blueprint. Good rating though. As we move into another good rating, Logan. Pretty straightforward one here. He gets the win over Josh. Boston Crab submission. 56 rating. Not too much more to say here. It's basically just pushing Logan forward, keeping him strong, keeping his momentum going, raising his pop, and it's ticking all the boxes, so no complaints. Then we move into our no, this is our main event. Oh no. I should have put Hangman and Sasquatch as the main event here because this one is tanked in terms of how good it could have been. I tried to give the benefit of the doubt and let Davis sort of mainstay. It's been a while. He's kind of been shoved in the background even though he's very good. So I thought I would let him main event and it's backfired. Which honestly, it's not actually his fault. He pulls in a 57, but the creative finish was a failure. But he does get the win over Cobra, who's of course he's on red hot momentum. Cobra, he's soaring up the ranks on popularity and performances, picking up one after one, but he cannot get past Davis Wayne Newton. Bit annoying because it's probably going to affect our show rating, especially because half of the bloody ring didn't turn up as well. So let's actually see how bad this is going to be. Oh my god, of course the storyline didn't technically advance enough. There wasn't enough dramatic stakes. It did advance, but no dramatic stakes. Fuck. Okay, this is a bit annoying considering it's in front of like not just our biggest crowd yet, but like a huge bump up of crowd. But the show did increase our popularity. 49. It's not horrible. Like it's actually not bad at all. But considering since the start of the year, our like average rating that we've been bringing in has been really good. This is a bit of a stinker, but you know, it happens. There's not much we can do. I'm curious to see how the ticket sales look with such a big bump up in attendance. I'm going to give this to Hangman, and who could maybe use it rather than deserve it? You know what, actually, I'm going to give it to Zippy because he did a solid job on that segment at the beginning. That was like really, I was impressed. I think it was actually the best segment of the night. Financial report, here we go. Oh my god, I think maybe the first or second show now. We didn't just make money, we made $800. Or we almost made double. No, sorry, not double. 1,000 more in ticket sales compared to what we paid our workers. This is huge. If we can keep, I don't know if that was like a one-off, if something has happened and I've not paid attention, but if our like regular fans at attendance is already jumped up to like the 340, 350 mark, or however, yeah, like 340, then that's like huge. Especially for us wanting to go on Wrestle World, that puts us one big step closer as we move up to 26 as well. I think we actually did we just go up 2 points in 1 month? I feel like we did. But my dumb ass is somehow drawing a blank. Let me quickly see. Well, actually, I'm not going to cut it here. We're going to advance to the end of the month and then we're going to take a look at it together and we'll actually go over just a couple things within the promotion. Maybe who the creative players are and or what creative, think of our workers, as well as the finances. See how much money we made with our attendance just going up and up. We'll look at the merchandise too, but it got upgraded about halfway through the month, so it's not going to matter too much. We're already in May too, which is crazy. I feel like we just started the new year and we're just announcing the end of year awards. We'll definitely have made money, but it's more a case of how much money we made. I really don't know. And if we went up to popularity points again, that's it's really good signs, to be honest. I can't complain at all. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Confirmation. Ace Youngblood is gone and will probably never be back. Let's check the pop first. So we did. So it was only back in January to February. No, November to December. We went up 2 points and now we've gone up 2 again, which was really good. Finances. Oh wow, yeah. Okay. We made a record-breaking 2,500 in profit. So we just need this number here, this 2,500. We just need it to be roughly around 7 or 8, and then we're in the money. Our merchandise has took a huge jump up to about $600, and that's not the whole month's worth. So it could technically, it's going to be even higher, which more than covers the costs of running the merchandise too. Our sponsors are going up about the same rate as always. The US economy is on the rise, so that means our sponsors will be on the rise too. As we take popularity, ticket sales obviously are much higher. They take a nice huge bump as well. This is looking real nice. Right, let's see what creative is saying at the minute. Yeah, pretty much as I expected. Mutant's pretty high up there. In terms of faces, he's just behind Papa. We've got the likes of Logan, Davis. He's in there, the architect. The next big thing is the Doc. We got a bunch of guys on Hot Prospect too. Talk the talk. Okay. Oh wow, LA Star 1 is in the Showstoppers, along with Clark. Interesting. Ring Generals. Sasquatch is in there. Who's hot? Davis apparently is the hottest right now. He's even hotter than Papa SWOLL, which is kind of crazy. No one's, with our character ideas, we assign on people and stuff. That helps a lot with the momentum. So no one's momentum's like completely in the dirt. But yeah, things are looking pretty good here. The main guys to look at would probably be Papa. He's up to 46 popularity in the Great Stakes. He's in the Great Lakes, sorry. Yeah, he's rising up real nice. He's going up about 1 or 2 pop points every month, which is to be expected because he's obviously booked very, very strong. I don't even remember the last time he lost. It's been a while now. He's like our main guy. He's actually higher in the Great Lakes now than what Ernest Youngman was when we brought him in, to put it into a perspective, which is huge. Someone else, let's maybe look at Davis after he had a good month. Apparently he's on really good momentum. It doesn't look like he's moved. No, he's gone up 1 point after sitting on around 32, 33 from January. So it's not moving too much. I believe Logan is the second highest in pop. He's on 38. Okay, he went up 2 points. I think actually Architect might be higher. He's on 39 last time I checked. Yeah, he's still on 39. Okay. He's been on 39 for a while. We need to get that ball rolling. But yeah, everyone, I feel like low 20s, mid 20s seems to be the base mark. We got Hangman, he's on 34 as well. He's quite high up there. Jules, mid 20s. LA Star, those guys are mid 20s. Marco 15, Melliford mid 20s. Mutants on the mid 30s. Sasquatch is on 31. He's actually going up quite quick. Yeah, I think Sasquatch might potentially be one of those guys who, you know, like I mentioned before, you always have a plan when you're playing this game of maybe who you want to push, who you don't, and then there's always some guy that comes in from nowhere and kind of just gravitates to the top, even if you're not trying to make him. And I don't know why, but I have a bit of a weird feeling Sasquatch might be one of those guys. But we'll see. We'll see going forward how that pans out. Stevie's pretty low on the pop, to be expected. The Historian's the same as Sandman. The Past Masters, they're on the mid 20s. Zippy's on 13. Did his promo and stuff help him? Yeah, he went up 2 points. Not bad. I do quite like the look of Zippy. 4 years experience, so he's not really classed as a young lion, which is good. He's got a lot of work to go, but at 23 years old, as long as we keep using him and he keeps advancing, it's nothing but good things for him, honestly. But I think we'll call it here, and we'll, not the episode, just cut the recording, don't worry. We still have 2 more shows to go through this episode. We have the contract signing coming up next with Papa and Architect. I feel like they're, at this stage in our promotion's history, they're kind of like the Rock and Stone Cold of the promotion right now. You know, they have so much aura, both of them. It's been a while since they've fought as well, just 1v1, since Papa SWOLL beat him. But the contract signing will be up next, which will be interesting, and then the last show of May will be them fighting 1v1. We'll see what mayhem and carnage is to come, to be honest. But let's get into the next show. Okay, here we go, ladies and gents. It is time for the contract signing. Ooh, okay. So we're expected about the same amount of fans as last show. And we'll also need to keep an eye on our merchandise sales at the end of this month, because it'll be the first full month where we're on level 4. Stored ideas, we got 1 creative finish. Angle idea, I need to use David Wayne Newton's character idea. Okay. Creative. I feel like we're not generating as much points anymore. Does it say where? Like 110? How? I feel like we used to get more. There's no issues, it seems like. Okay, never mind. Nonetheless, let's try get a creative idea. Sorry, a creative finish and a character idea. A bit of a gamble. We'll take it. Character. Safe bet, okay. But yeah, it's the contract signing tonight with Papa and the Architect. Speaking of Papa, he was in fine form, giving hilarious road stories before the show. That is good stuff. That's what we like to see. LA Star gave the locker room a lift. Series of spot on impressions. That's good as well. The irrepressible personality trait, which is also, I'm pretty sure it's the best, or one of the best at least. Zippy and Dr. Funk gets trained by the Architect. And we also had some talk backstage. Zippy is being influenced by the Architect, as he's begun acting in a similar way. That's pretty good. Zippy being a party animal isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if we can even turn him to professional, that would be huge. So that's not bad at all. Good. Locker room incidents for this show, which is good. We're actually going to go with team bonding, I think. Okay. We created tensions between Sasquatch and Hangman, who he lost to, and also between me and him. Of course, I made him lose, so he really wasn't happy about that. I actually went back and looked, and it kind of makes sense. Sasquatch has popularity everywhere in America, like high 20s, low 30s, whereas Hangman is more popular, but he only has pop pretty much in the Great Lakes. So I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, he was really, really not happy about it. Well, hopefully we don't pay for it in the long run. I don't think we should, but we'll see. It's time for the show though. Let me get to booking, and I will be back when we're ready to rumble. Alright, here we go. It's time to get this show on the road. Everything is booked. We got the contract signing at the very end of our show. A very rare main event angle. Let's first, as we click on this, so we're in front of 337, which is pretty much what we got last show. So that's huge. Very good start to the show too. We have the Doc himself. He's not doing his usual "We Want the Funk" show because he's actually in a match tonight. So he's essentially coming down to the ring, makes his entrance, talks to the crowd, hypes them up, gets the crowd hotter, and it does everything right. 5 minute, great angle, 66 rating. And to make matters even better for the Doc, he gets the win. He beats Marco in 11 minutes with the funky elbow drop, 41 rating, 41 for Doc. He's actually, considering the Doc doesn't really get used or pushed, he has positive morale, and he actually has positive momentum. But I guess his charisma and things of that nature probably help, but he's definitely done his job tonight, got the crowd hotter, started the show off strong. He gets a win as well, so nothing but good things to say. As we then move in to another promo in the ring. This time it's the Past Masters with Sandman doing all the talking. Gets a 50, pretty solid considering he's not the most gifted on the mic, but he can do a job, you know. A 50 is no joke, and they're basically calling out LA Star 1 and 2 because one thing I never mentioned, but LA Star 1 and 2 are the New York City wrestling tag team champs. And you know, they're basically going on about how they saw them win their debut last month, you know. People might think it's impressive, but we are not fooled. We don't give a shit if you come into this promotion already champs elsewhere. We're the best. We're the best here. So we're here to prove it. And they essentially call them out to a fight, which of course the masked baby faces accept. And the match gives a 58 rating. Very solid. And about that, great wrestling, decent reaction. The Past Masters beat the LA Stars when LA Star 2 was counted out while fighting Sandman Winks. I put the note down for the Past Masters to win by cheating. So I guess they're not really, this doesn't sound like they're cheating though, but they basically get a cheap win. This is a good match though. This is probably as well the first of many times we'll see these two tag teams butt heads, because at the minute, for whenever we introduce our tag division, which will be soon, hopefully, I feel like these two teams will be the two at the top, more or less. I mean, we get mid-50s for the LA guys, really high 40 ratings here for the Past Masters. This is really, really good match. I'm really kind of shocked how well the LA Stars are doing in only their second match here. This is scary numbers, because it just seems to keep slowly going up, even though it's only been 2 shows, but I just have a weird feeling. But a cheap win for the Past Masters. They of course don't win legitimate. Then we move into another tag match, which does also pretty good. Another tag team I'm really glad we have is, of course, the Minnesota Awesome. They pick up a fairly straightforward win against Josh Jacobs and Stevie when Clark pins Josh with double flying elbows. Again, no good ratings. Clark he's sort of the main standout guy. Josh, the weak link, I would say, but overall, this is pretty good. 53 rating. Good win for the Minnesota Awesome. Another tag team I really like, if I'm being honest. Also, as well, just like LA Star, it's a young tag team, and the Passmasters too. Actually, I think the Passmasters are 25 and 27. These guys, I think, are 26, 27, and it's the same for the LA Star guys. So the tag team division, the stepping stones for it are looking pretty healthy. But good rating. As we then move into a 55. Right, I tried to do something a little different. Okay, so I tried to make it a technical master class of a match because these two guys have very good technical ratings, just to try and mix it up a little bit. And I did see the note about it being, not the note, sorry, but when I was selecting it, that you can't really do it. It can't go on for too long. Or sorry, it has to go over 10 minutes and not done in front of a rowdy crowd. But because we have such high ratings on our shows, that are like way more than anticipated, you're essentially, the crowd that comes are essentially getting their money's worth. So they kind of reach the stage of being really rowdy and white hot super early into the show. So this was not timed well at all. In that sense, it should have been at the start, probably. It still gets a very good rating though. 55 is solid. Logan picks up the win with a belly to belly suplex after 12 minutes, and he pulls in a 62. So I mean, regardless of the note, this is still a very good match, keeping strong momentum going for Logan to stake his claim to be essentially next in line. As we move into the last match, or essentially our main event, this is good. Davis, of course, he didn't tank, but his main event last show with Cobra didn't go quite so well, but he gets a 62 here and it goes great. But it's Mutant who gets the win after he pins Jules Knight with the Tina Turner. But 63 rating, very solid. The match got the crowd hotter again, which I guess will be good going into the segment or contract signing. Creative finish as well was a success, because if we got 2 creative finish failures in a row for our main events, that would have been really unlucky. But it's a big win for Mutant here. Good match though. Very, very good match considering there was no Papa SWOLL or Architect. But speaking of those two, there's a lot to digest here. We have our contract signing for the next event. It's finally time to bury the hatchet, in a sense. Architect gladly accepted Papa SWOLL's offer, and they come down to the ring, sit across the table from each other. Papa SWOLL's all alone on his side, whereas the Architect has every member of the Blueprint behind him. Our angle ID was a success, by the way, which was good. Papa SWOLL improvised well. 65 overall rating. But we basically have in the contract, Papa SWOLL gets on the mic and he points out this stupid rule that you keep going on about, Architect, about past champions are guaranteed a rematch. I want that abolished in this contract going forward. Even if I don't have the belt anymore, me and Craig, who of course I'm Craig, the GM, he's accepted this notion. So going forward, no matter what happens now, rematches are not guaranteed. You have to work for them. And Architect kind of starts laughing, and he goes, "Well, so you're telling me when I beat you next show and take your belt, you're not guaranteed. Basically, you're not going to get a rematch. Are you an idiot?" And then he signs the contract. He goes, "Yeah, I'll accept." And then Papa SWOLL starts laughing, An architect kind of is like, what the hell? Everyone's looking at him a little confused. And before he can say anything, the architect butts in and is like, you know what, Papa? I actually do respect you. It's a little unfortunate. I don't necessarily hate you, you know. I'm only coming after you because you have what I need, the belt, you know. I need that belt to prove to all these stupid people, you know, that I'm the best. Even though I know I am. I'm fighter of the year. The only reason I lost the belt is because your two boyfriends, your two little friends, who I've now put in the hospital because they could help you, but now you don't have them. So what? Like, I don't understand why you're even accepting all these terms when you don't have any help, and I have all the help I need, even though I don't need them. And Papa Swole laughs and he says, "Well, you're not going to have the chance to find out anyway." And that's when he announces to Architect that, Architect, you claim to be 2 steps ahead of everyone else, a thinker, think smarter or work smarter and not harder, but you just basically signed all your help away. And he kind of looks at the GM, he looks at me and looks back at Papa, and Papa says to him, because on that contract you just signed, you're not allowed to have any members of the Blueprint at ringside, let alone interfere in the match, or you get disqualified. And that the crowd pops, obviously everyone starts going like, oh my god, and it's too late now, Architect signed the contract. And then he says, and you know what else, just to prove, he says, I know you'll be a tough competitor, Architect, but I'm sick of listening to you moaning every single week. So just to prove I'm better than you, just to prove, it's going to be me and you in a steel cage for the title. No Blueprint, no bid, no buddies, no backup, nothing. Just me and you locked in the cage. The last man standing, who gets out of the cage first, they walk home with the title. And then this little butting of heads we have is over. And then we end the show. So it's official. A cage match. It's official, which should be huge. I'm kind of glad we're coming to an end of this little feud. I feel like, as much as these guys have been elevated a lot, kind of going back and forth with each other, I feel like it's kind of sucking up my whole promotion. I feel like all eyes are on these two and not really on anyone else, which is fine because we're still small size, we're still very small, but it's just it's more so just annoying me because it wasn't really the plan, but the momentum and the good ratings are just kind of taking over. But next show should put the nail in the coffin, you could say. It's going to be steel cage main event for the title. So all that talking both these guys have done, more so Architect, is finally coming to an end. As for praise, I think we'll give this maybe we'll give it to Marco and Stevie. I think, just to keep that boost going. We make 989 as well. We got 2,300 on ticket sales, which is huge. Almost double what we paid the workers. So our money's slowly but surely we're getting there. Merchandise took 700, which is a pretty nice boost up for just on the day. Pop goes up as well, we're hitting 27. So yeah, there we have it, peeps. It's official. Contract is signed. Papa Swole has essentially tricked the man who always claims to be 2 steps ahead, the Architect. He's tricked him, played him at his own game by putting extra stipulations into the contract, and Architect never noticed. So there we have it. Let's go straight on. I'm excited for this. Straight in to our next show, and our huge feud will come to an end. Ladies and gents, here we go. I'm excited. We are wasting no time. It's time for the finale. 400 people expected. I did pre-book this main event, steel cage match. So this will be huge. I think that's actually maybe helped this attendance, if I'm being honest. That's like, wait, this is the biggest bump. If I thought the last bump in attendance was big, this one's huge. Even if we can hit 400 fans, that would be insane. We'll have gone up like 150, almost 200 in the space of like 4 shows, which is like, the snowball is truly in effect now. Right, stored ideas. We definitely need to create a finish tonight. A bit of a gamble. No, we need a near certainty. If I need to use all my points on creative finish, I'll do it. How much do we have? 150. Okay, a bit of a gamble, only for Logan. Okay, come on, a near certainty. Fuck, it's only for Mutant. God damn it, this is awkward. One more. Oh, a bit of a gamble for no one. Damn it. I think that's what the other one was, right? Creative finish, a bit of a yeah, they're both a bit of a gamble. Oh no. I mean, we're not really guaranteed to have an absolutely amazing match, but I'm going to have. Should I use one? I don't really know. Is it worth the risk, or do we just leave it? I don't know. I'll decide when I'm booking the show, I think. Although when they fail, you don't get penalised that much. It's only a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 ratings to the match. So it's not like devastating, but it would be annoying, wouldn't it? But if it works, then that's also good. We'll see. That's a bit of a shame though. Who the hell are you? Randy Stinton has turned up and asked if you might want to use him. He's 21. What the fuck? My brother is not 21 years old. You got me fucked up if you think this guy's 21 years old. 6'5", 320 pounds. 21? Is this a typo? My god, this guy is not 21. He also sucks. He has 14 consistency and 36 safety. I think we'll pass on the young buck. No thank you. Blue Dragon entertained the locker room with a poker tournament. Nice. Zippy and the Doc get some training. Josh came to you backstage with an idea to enhance his character. Okay. Usually I feel like when they come to you with ideas for themselves, they're always ass. It's always like a huge gamble. And I don't think I've used one yet, ever. I always discard them. Apparently Remy and Sandman have been hanging out a lot recently. Okay, that's fine, that's good. Okay. Not bad. Oh, damn it. I was hoping I would be able to inspire for tonight, but it's not looking like it. And with Sasquatch being a big grump, I'm not doing team bonding tonight. So we'll just leave this as it is. As it's time to book it, the finale, the big one. Putting an end to the feud for now, you know. We'll see how it goes down the line, but I want to kind of get them to move away from each other for a bit so we can especially use them more. I've been so like invested on. I've basically been running this storyline the way it should be run when we're like a big company. When I shouldn't be doing it at this stage, you know. I need to make sure I'm using these guys every single show. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on. We all get it. It's time. Cage match. Title fight. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. It's time. The big one. The big finale. Steel cage. Great Lakes champion. We did end up assigning a gamble for creative finish, so fingers crossed it goes well. We actually have 3 creative finishes on this card because 2 other superstars had one. I think it was more just the restrictions. We could only use it on that one person, so it was just to get rid of them, honestly. If there was ever a card to do it on, it would be this one. Hopefully it does pretty good. But let's do it. Holy shit. Alright. We have Mutant here coming out working the crowd. Just trying to, of course, mix up so we're not seeing the same faces every time. Mutant, of course, he is good on the mic, as you can see. At 71, this is a great start to the show. And by the way, we also have almost broke 400 people in attendance, which is huge. Gets the crowd hotter. Angle gets the show off to a strong start. And then, of course, we have Mutant in action next. And he gets the win. The creative finish, the one of 3 creative finishes starts well. Hopefully that's the same. That's good juju. Good juju indeed that the other ones will do good. Mutant hits a 50. Gets the crowd hotter. 51 match rating. Mutant takes the win. As expected. Keeps working himself up the ranks. Getting a good win. Good momentum for him. We then move in to Sasquatch making his entrance. I was trying something a bit different here. In the last version of the game, it used to be not easy, but it was almost like a cheap way. When workers had very good menace, it was quite easy to get a good rating out of them, and I'm kind of trying to tweak that and see if that's still a thing. It might be a little early to do it, or maybe intimidation's not the right segment to be rated on. We only get a 35. It's good enough to pass, but it is a bit of a stinker. But hopefully no more stinkers for the rest of the show, as we have the blueprint in action next. 51 again, pretty solid. A lot of good guys fighting on this. We had the blueprint take the win when the historian pins Jules Knight with a blast from the past. Sasquatch was actually the weak link. Wait, was he? Oh yeah, he only gets a 36. Yeah, he was really the weak link. He did not perform well working in a group here, it seemed. Usually he gets low to mid 40s, so that's a bit of a plummet there for him. Historian seemed off his game and he still got way higher, 10 ahead. Clark, of course, he does pretty good, as well as Perry. The ratings are actually really similar, apart from Sasquatch. Everyone kind of held their own, peaking just below 50. So 51 ratings, pretty solid. Good 3 versus 3 match here as well, as we then move into another backstage segment, and we got the Doc and Zippy, basically just being idiots. Essentially, they're teaming up tonight to go up against LA Stars, so they're essentially just talking backstage in the locker room, going over a plan. But it's like obviously meant to be for comic relief, so they're like obviously not being serious about it. You know, the doctor's like going over the plan while Zippy's checking his hair in the mirror, not paying attention, and just like little stupid things, just to get the crowd going. Which of course works because it pulls off a 72. Both clearly enjoy the freedom of going off script. I'm tempted to actually team these two guys up, even though I don't think any of them's a tag team specialist and they don't have any positive or negative chemistry together. But there's just something about them, I don't know, I think it would be quite funny. They're like so different, but they're both so good on the mic, it could like really help elevate them, and they could like rub off each other, I think. But we'll see. I'm keeping it in mind. It's definitely there, considering they can pull in these kind of ratings together. As much as I don't believe segments do as well for your popularity, you can still gain popularity through good segments like this. But that's very good. The match itself does really good as well. A 55. That's our highest rated match tonight. All thanks to the LA Star Boys though. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. They of course take the loss. LA Stars get the win when Zippy is pinned by LA Star 2. LA Star 2 almost hit a 60. What the hell is going on? These guys are something else. 59-51. And we'll just ignore Zippy and Dr. Sim ratings. They basically get carried to a 55. Another strong win for LA Star after they got cheated. essentially in their first loss of the promotion to the past masters, which I'm sure they won't forget in a hurry. Moving on, we had an even better tag match, a 56. Old rivals Cobra and Davis, who fought not too long ago when they busted up my main event. It didn't quite work out. They are teaming together tonight and they get the win over Josh and Remy when Cobra pinned Josh with a solid snake stunner. Oh, that sounds like a... I wonder if that's like a Stone Cold stunner, I guess. I don't think I've seen that notice come up. Usually it's the... Is it the Viper Vice or something? It's a submission he usually wins by. I didn't know he also had a stunner in his locker. That's good to know. But they get the win. Davis with a 58-50 for Cobra. Pretty solid for Remy. Josh lacking behind, but I'll take it. 56. The ratings are slowly on the rise here as we move into the co-main event. Oh my god, what the hell. We also had Logan with the creative finish, as you can see, as well as Mutant, and it's paid off. It's also been a success. Logan pulls in a 61 and gets the win over Miller by submission with a Boston Crab. Before we go on, because the main event's coming up next, I'm really hoping the main event gets a 67 or over and beats this, but yeah, knowing my luck, we won't get 3 creative finish successes in a row, and we have one assigned to the next one. But here we go. Papa SWOLL, ever since becoming champ, has had a thorn in his side, an architect. And the whole time Papa SWOLL's been champ, fighting a lot of outside guys, trying to elevate the belt, elevate the belt, elevate the promotion. He's had nothing but hassle from the architect, and finally, after beating up and busting both of Papa SWOLL's friends, he essentially forfeits. He says, fine, architect, I'll fight you. I'm not scared of you, I'll fight you. And he tricked him last show when the contract signing came out. He finessed the architect at his own game and changed the stipulation to steel cage. It's a steel cage modern match, which I never specified. So pinfall, submission, or escape the cage to win. Any of those work. So let's see, 1v1. The architect and Papa SWOLL with no hangman, no blue dragon, and no blueprint stable members to help. Basically no one. It's the steel cage, Papa SWOLL, and architect, and that's it. Okay, we get a 70. That is not... I don't believe that's our best ever match. I think 71 or 72 is the best. But wait till you hear it. In an exceptional match, the architect beats Papa SWOLL in a cage match when architect escapes the cage, winning the Great Lakes champion title, becoming the first ever 2-time champion of our promotion. Very solid ratings too, 64-65. Creative finish is a success. Now, I actually should have ended this storyline. I might just change the name of it and keep it going like I did with the other one though, so it doesn't actually matter. But essentially, what's happened here, they've been going at it back and forth. I actually tried to get them to take bumps, like a stunt bump or a crazy bump, but they both said no, they're pussies basically. But anyway, Papa SWOLL throughout the match is essentially getting the upper hand over the architect, but the architect's so smart and clever, kind of like an Eddie Guerrero type guy, where he's using all these little dirty tricks to his advantage to essentially just get under the skin of Papa SWOLL. But at one point, about halfway through the match, Papa SWOLL is smashing architect. He's essentially just launching him, because you have to keep in mind, Papa SWOLL's 6'7". He's a big guy. Architect's not tiny. I think he's about 5'11", or maybe slightly taller, but he's getting picked up and basically launched into the cage. And on one of the launches, after the third or fourth time in the same position, the cage door snaps open. But the camera pans to it, and architect notices it, but he quickly shuts the door. Like, the door doesn't swing open, but he snaps basically the door in half. The door, you can crawl under it, basically. And Architect notices it because he's been smashed against it, and he kind of like pulls it down to hide it. As Papa Swole goes over, grabs him, pulls him back in the ring, and the fighting continues. And then when the match reaches its climax, essentially, Papa Swole hits his finisher, the Boom Shakalaka, on the Architect. You know, he has him dead to rights. Architect is laid out. You know, both of these guys at this point can hardly stand. They're like, they've beat the shit out of each other. It's been so close, like absolutely destroying each other. Pause. And for whatever reason, rather than pinning Architect, I think Papa Swole wants to make a statement. You know, he's been getting pissed off so much throughout the match by Architect, and in months and months and months. So he starts climbing the cage to win by just escaping, you know, proving to him, you know, I don't even need to pin you. I can knock you out on the floor and take 10, 15, 20 seconds getting out of the cage, win that way. And when he gets just right before he gets to the top of the cage, the Architect starts crawling and rolling his way out the ring, and he crawls under the cage door. And he crawls under the cage door literally half a second before Papa Swole's feet hit the ground. But he's out, you know, Architect's out, he's won. So the bell rings, the match is over, Papa Swole and everyone in the audience is absolutely stunned. The Architect can't even stand up to celebrate or nothing. He's laying on the ground with the medics pretty much around him, holding the belt, tapping the belt, just smiling at Papa. And Papa doesn't even look angry, he just looks defeated. You know, he can, as much as he likes to say he's a fighting champion, does what's best. He knows he's been bested, essentially. The Architect, once again, as always, he gets the final say. In this matter anyway. And he's the champ again. Our first 2-time champ, Architect. He beats Papa, crawling his way like a little rat out of the ring. Now I don't think we got our best ever match rating, but I'm 100% sure that's our highest ever attendance, and I'm pretty sure 68 might be our best show. I believe it's 66. So this is a huge event. It worked out. We have a new champion, Papa Swole. His reign is coming to an end at the hands of the person who he beat to take the belt off of. Architect gets the win with no help from Blueprint. You know, proving as much as he does, cheat his way to win a lot of the time. He is very smart and he's also very good, and you can't take that away from him, because even before he founded the Blueprint stable, he was very, very hard to beat, and it literally did take Hangman and Blue Dragon coming to Papa Swole's aid to take the belt off him. But he gets it back. So huge end to the show. We're actually also going to give, you know what, I'm going to give it to both of them because that was huge. A moment of history for our promotion. It'll be a little, I think if we do essentially play like 10, 15, 20 years, right? And then if we ever did a review or we ended the series like 20 years in the future, if we look back at the first couple of years, it'll be these guys that we'll look back at and think, oh my god, remember, you know, remember that time Papa Swole and Architect were going back and forth, so on and so forth. Yeah, compliment both of them. Huge. Wow, we made 1,300 just from the show. That's crazy. Ticket sales were huge as well, of course. Did we go up again as well? No, we stick at 27, which is fine. I'm actually going to, right before we end, because this is the first full month we were on level 4 merchandise, and of course our attendance is like starting to increase very fast all of a sudden. So we'll go through the finances real quick, but huge ending to not only May, but also huge ending to the episode. We have a new champ, a former champ, and the plan with this really was just to kind of move away from Papa and Architect hogging the spotlight together. But we now also have a champion in the Blueprint stable, so it's essentially going to be even harder for Architect to lose the belt this time around than it was the last time. So we'll see who steps up to the plate. Lots of opportunities. It'll be exciting times. Papaswol did a really good run though. I was getting a bit scared having him have the belt, to be honest. He soared all the way up. He's like the most over guy on the whole promotion. I think he's in like the mid 40s now. It's getting a bit. I'm like actually getting worried. You know, it's like, God damn it, Papa, you're doing too good. I need to take the belt off you, you dumbass. But it's going to be pretty scary times anyway when we go in Wrestle World and start getting pop for our promotion and our workers everywhere in America. But it needs to be done. It's the inevitable, because obviously when we do that, there's a much higher chance the bigger companies will come in for our guys. This is all just people on my short list. We don't need to worry about that, right? Finances. Okay, Jesus, right. So we made just about 2,000, pretty much more than April, 4,500. So as soon as this performance here, like I mentioned before, as soon as this hits pretty much about 7,000, I am going on Wrestle World. And when we go on Wrestle World, we're debuting the tag team titles. It's been the plan all along. I'm sticking to the plan. And then when we hit small size, I'm debuting our main event title, and the Great Lakes title probably move to mid card or mid card. I think that's a good idea. Sponsorships are up by like 700 profit. Merchandise is up by a shit ton too, like 800. Worker cost is still sitting around the same, just under 3,000. We did go over here, but that was because of Max and Ace got the new contracts, and then we had to see their last couple shows out. But this is huge. At this rate, it's only going to be 2, maybe 3 more months maximum, to be honest, before we hit 7,000. It's really, the main thing is, honestly, it's going to depend on the ticket sales, how much attendance we have. That's honestly the only thing it comes down to. Economy is rising while the industry's falling, so it's a bit of a hit and a miss with everything going on right now. Let me see creative real quick now. Papaswol's still in first. Honestly, I check this regularly off camera, and this sequence of these 5 guys has not changed at all in like so long, since like the start of the year. It's not moved. To be fair, a lot of it hasn't, which is to be expected. I did also see as well Marco has morale issues now, which I don't actually know why. Oh, is that his character idea? If you remember, I was talking about character ideas weren't working out, they weren't going well, so that makes sense. He's pleased that one went successful, but then one went bad. You should be lucky I'm even giving you character ideas. Some people have had none and you've had 2. You greedy bastard. Anyway, let's end it. I'm blabbing on too much here. I'm excited. We have a new champ. The Architect is back in action. He's back on top, along with the Blueprint at his side, which, it's going to be a scary sight moving on, but that's all from me, ladies and gents. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next time.